is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. I've got the lightning inside me. Oh, just you watch. This is how legends are made. I'm like a titan that's rising. This is how legends are made.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to True Sim Productions. I am your host, Winston Deal, from the WD Broadcasting Network over on Facebook. I'm joined by my co-host, Connor Osborne. Connor, say hello to the stream tonight.
How are we doing, guys? How are we doing? Welcome. Another week, another day for another league race.
Yeah, back with the All-Star Racing League here tonight. Race number 4 of their. Let me pull up to make sure I have this number correct. I believe 12 race season. Yes, 12 week season with an all-star race as well thrown in there. Coming up in a couple weeks, actually, Connor. We got Martinsville after tonight here at South Boston, and then Myrtle Beach after that, and then we go to the Bull Ring for the all-star race. So an exciting couple of weeks here coming up. It should be pretty fun to cover.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the week I'm definitely looking forward to here is what would that be? Week 5 in Myrtle Beach.
Week 6.
Week 6. My apologies. I think that's going to be one of the best races we've seen so far this season. I mean, it's just that racetrack puts on great racing. I've raced there personally myself, and it gave nothing but a blast. I mean, I had a blast right now.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach, definitely a very fun track to run on iRacing. And the Myrtle Beach race 200 laps, so that's going to be a pretty big battle of endurance to see, who's going to make it to the end, who's going to have the tires at the end. It's going to be a pretty good show, but we got to get through South Boston here tonight and Martinsville to get there. But those two tracks, no lack of excitement there either, Connor.
I mean, this whole schedule is just full of tracks that have great, racing all around. So, and these guys definitely put on great racing every single week. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, we saw some pretty great racing last week at the Slinger Speedway, where champion last season Brandon Elvis was able to get his first win of the season. He started off a little bit rough, got the win there. Coming into tonight, he is in that second place spot on the left side of your screen, but points, he is in the 12th position, tied with Dalton Creech, owner of the All-Star Racing League. So a couple buddies tied for that 12th place spot. I'm sure not quite where Mr. Elvis wants to be, but he's a good driver. He's going to figure it out before the end of the season, so expect to see that 54 car up at the top of the standings here tonight. We've got about a minute left here in this practice session, minute 30. Sorry about that, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can grab our winner last week, if he's in voice chat. I don't know if I see him. He likes to hide in Discord, but we will be grabbing a award from our fast qualifier, whoever that may be. We'll find out in a couple of moments, but we'll take a quick tour around the South Boston Speedway. It's a 0.4 mile oval located in South Boston, Virginia. We got a couple pretty cool cameras going tonight. We can find a driver to get on track. So our restart camera down here into turns 1 and 2. Going to take them around and head to the back straightaway. Corners are tight. A lot of corner speed here. And then we'll head through turns 3 and 4. Pretty cool camera of them coming on the exit right there. That guy, the 80 machine, Chris Smith, won a couple races last season in that 80 machine. Not making a start so far this season. So start number 1 here tonight for the 80 of Chris Smith. Let's see if he's able to make anything out of it. We've got 19 cars that have taken time so far. So we'll see if anybody else joins. It looks like one driver yet to take a time here in this practice session, Donnie Batiste in the 67 machine. So make it 20 cars even here heading into qualifying. Connor, what should we expect here going into qualifying? You mentioned earlier when we were discussing, you haven't missed a fast qualifier yet. Who's your pick tonight?
I mean, I feel like it'd be wrong to pick Chris Smith, but I mean, I want to keep the streak going. So Winston, I'm gonna pick Chris Smith again. You know, the leader in practice. I think he's gonna bring it into qualifying, and hopefully I can go 4 for 4.
Alrighty, well, so far I haven't gotten a single one, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have to go Brian Voss on the 55 again. He was third at quick in practice. He's out on track now, heading down the back straightaway, but third quick in practice. He is known for being near the top of the standings in qualifying, so we'll see if he's able to do anything. Heads through turns 1 and 2. He's glued to the yellow line there, gets a good run down the back. I've ran a couple races in these late model stocks. I did a few practice laps this weekend, and it's a lot of corner speed, so these cars are going to have to rely on that momentum, Connor. His lap number 1 at 4, Brian Voss, is going to be provisional pole to 15:09. We'll see if anybody's able to beat that lap time. Yeah, Voss, second time around. Going to slow it down a little bit. As right now, last week's winner, Brandon Elvis, going to make his lap times. He saw the green flag right there. Good run through turns 1 and 2 right there. The 54 trying to show a little bit of repeat of what he did last week. He's going to try and go back-to-back here. As lap number 1, going to go to the second place spot on the board of 15.1 with a 2. And his teammate goes just a little bit quicker, Justin Coleman in the 14, currently at that second position. But we'll see what Elvis can do on that second lap around. He's going to improve, but not enough to take the pole. And I'm feeling a little bit confident now.
Yes, I'm not feeling as confident with my pick, but we're gonna keep the motivation with Chris Smith this morning or this evening and see what he can do tonight. But great lap for Brian Voss as per usual. He's normally putting that 55 machine to the top of the board before every race. Most of the time puts it in a great position for the race too, Winston, and it just all depends as Chris Smith starts to make his way onto the racetrack.
Yeah, Brian Voss has 1 pole to his name already this season. I believe that was back at our season opener. Rockingham Speedway got the pole there. But we'll see what Chris Smith is able to do as he heads down into turns 1 and 2 in that blue and white number 80 machine. He's coming down the back straightaway. Looks to have a good run here on the yellow line in turns 3 and 4. He's going to see the white flag here. He's going to have one more shot at it. But lap number 1 for Smith. Second quick, just a little bit off. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. We saw Elvis improve in the 54. What can Chris Smith do in the 80 out of turns 3 and 4 for the pole? The 80 machine not able to do it. Brian Voss and me are going to win the pole tonight. Finally, I get one. So that makes me, Connor, 1 for 3, or sorry, 1 for 4. You 3 for 4.
I mean, I'll take those odds.
I mean, a lot of me wants to say it's because I give you first option, but you know, we'll be fair. We'll be fair.
I'll give you the race option today.
All right, we'll make picks before the race, and we'll invite everybody down in the chat below to make picks with us as well, and see who all can have the most success. I know we got a lot of fans and a lot of family of the drivers down in the chat, so if you guys got a driver you're cheering on, make sure you let them know, and I know you're there, and I know they watch these races back, and I know they appreciate your comments. So just a little bit more time left before we are ready to go racing. About a minute left. So we're going to take a quick step away for a quick drink of water, and everybody get some popcorn, get everything ready to go for this 100 lap event. As we will return shortly here on True Sim Productions. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here ready to begin our feature racing here at the South Boston Speedway. We'll get the tower set up so you guys are looking at the right information here. And we will grab a word from our fast qualifier, Brian Voss, in the 55 machine. Brian Voss, picking up your second pole this season. 100 laps here tonight at South Boston. What can you do to keep it up there?
Just, I think, protect the right front, stay out of trouble, keep track position, and actually kind of puzzled here looking at the fuel. I might have to pit for fuel. I don't know if we'll make it on 100 laps.
Yeah, going to be a tight one there. I kind of looked at the fuel mileage, did a little bit of test driving, and it looks to be close. You guys are going to have to maybe save under caution a little bit. Could create some post-race drama if we have a green-white checkered thrown in there too, but good starting spot for you here tonight. Good luck to you.
Thanks, sir.
Alrighty, folks, that was Brian Voss in the 55 machine. Field going to see the white flag right here from your flagman up in the stand, or up in the flag stand. We are going to be going 1 to green. Connor, you told me you'd give me a first pick. I know Brandon Elvis in the 54 machine. He's going to be hungry for a win. I raced with him last night, and there was a little bit of trouble there. He's definitely going to be aggressive here tonight and trying to get that 54 machine to the front. So the 54 machine is going to be my pick here tonight, Connor.
You stole my pick, I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to go with Brian Voss. I think he's going to as we are green flag, I missed it. But here we go. Brian Voss. Chris Smith on the outside as these boys battle in turns 1 and 2. Winston. Pretty good battling so far.
Yeah, down the back straightaway, everybody trying to get in line. They'll race out of turns 3 and 4. You see them side by side through the exit. Good lap number 1 to Brian Voss, but here comes Brandon Elvis in the 54. He's looking underneath Justin Coleman, his teammate in the 14. Chris Smith able to get down in the 80 machine to move him safely into that second spot out of 4.
Brian Voss versus first place position. Chris Smith settles in as well. Rear bumper, but for that 5th position, looks like Dalton Creech and last place winner Brandon Elvis will go to battle for that 4th position.
Yeah, Elvis down low, Creech up top. Voss mentioned you got to save the tires, and I watched Brandon Elvis in this practice session, and he did a pretty lengthy run and only fell off 3 or 4 tenths in that run. It was, excessive of 40 laps. So obviously the 54 knows how to keep the tires underneath them and keep that in mind throughout the race, but everybody kind of settling down on the top 5. But battling back behind him is Terrace.
Yeah, Dale preferred lane on the inside, but Alex Harris looks to not give him any room as we got to check up in front of him, and that will be your 51 machine of Matt Cox. He starts to race just a little bit. Dale Ogburn is going to look to capitalize.
Yeah, you saw him slide the rear tires there off that second corner last time around, and then again off of turns 4, just having a hard time getting the grip off of the corner. So Cox up on that outside lane. And you said the preferred line down low, and from my experience in these cars and what I was watching in practice, the preferred line might actually be that outside lane, especially when these guys are side by side. You're going to be able to pinch that guy down, depending on who you're racing. But you got a 3-car breakaway up front. Brian Voss, Chris Smith, Justin Coleman leading us to 10 laps in out of 100.
Yeah, I did mention that preferred line being on the bottom, but Winston, the top is definitely the place to be, especially on the long runs. I noticed I ran a 100-lap race as well in these cars. The cars get super loose unless you're running that very top side. So I'm sure we'll start to see some more guys move to the top as this race starts to file out.
Yeah, and we see a lot of them on this bottom, and you'll see them defend the bottom, but I've had a couple of times where I'm on the outside and restart, and I'm just able to drive around that guy because they're not driving it into the corner as hard, not able to use that momentum around the outside. That's kind of the key to passing here, is keeping that momentum up, and it's just so much easier to keep it up when you're on that outside. You just have so much more room to keep the car going rather than somebody in the door not trying to hit them.
Hat and back starts to get a little loose on that bottom side. I mean, I don't know if I talked about it on the car a little bit, and it's just something to watch out for because it's going to cause maybe not a wreck, but maybe a spin here and there.
Yeah, 100%. I ran a tour modified race here yesterday, and I was dipping the left sides below that line, and it just got a little bit more slidey on the exit. You kind of had to wheel a little bit. As right behind them, sitting in the 13th spot right now, Brian Zimmerman, winner of your first race at Rockingham. Your points that you're coming into tonight, so far this season, Connor, hasn't finished outside of the top 3 in the first 3 races. Doing pretty good.
I mean, he's doing the best he can. I mean, top 3. What did you say? Past 3 weeks.
Yeah, the first 3 weeks of the season, the win in the opener at Rockingham. Points leader right now by a pretty good margin. I believe 21 points the difference between him and your race leader Brian Voss.
I mean, he's doing a great job from starting from as far back as he has these past couple of weeks. And he's shown and proved to us as broadcasters that he's an outsider when it comes to qualifying. He's not the biggest qualifying guy, but he puts it up front every week.
Yeah, Zimmy definitely the long run guy. Last night I ran the super late model race for the Quicken Line Racing League. Zimmy was outside the top 5 before we came into the pits. Got a great pit stop, had a great pit strategy, and unfortunately I had a little bit of a speeding penalty issue, and I ended up in front of him a lap down, and I kind of helped him with the draft throughout the race, and he was able to collect the victory there. But just a great racer, knows how to save his stuff and be there at the end when it matters. So 13th right now, but don't be shocked if the 28's up there contending for the win at 80 laps from now.
Start to see the back of the field start to catch Dale Ogburn. Not sure how these guys are going to play this out, but it looks like right now it's going to file out. When it comes to these races, it's 100 laps, so it's going to take a lot of tires.
Yeah, there's a battle right there. The 29 Zach Murphy battling underneath the 04 Caleb Thompson. The battle for the 9th position is up in front. Your race leaders are approaching Ronald Judd in the 21 machine. Viagra number 21, the Chrome, really popping here in the sun at South Boston, but quarter way through this one, Judd in the 21, in risk of going a lap down if we don't see a caution here. Luckily, nobody else really too far back behind your race leader, Brian Voss, so we could get the lucky dog when we do, or sorry, if we see a caution.
But he is the fastest car on track as we speak. Trying to catch the lead pack. Aren't fully checked out. Pretty close. I think the caution is really going to affect how this race plays out. We did hear Brian Voss talk about the fuel mileage on these cars, and possibly having to, go get fuel. As
Yellow flag. Ronald Judd in the 21. It looked like he was stopped on the front stretch. I'm going to see if we can maybe check out what happened here. Let's go back to the previous lap. He was just stopped on the bottom. Not really sure if he had crashed or if he just pulled out of the way of your race leaders. But nonetheless, under caution for the first time here tonight. We'll take a look at what happened. It looks like he just parked it down on the bottom of the racetrack, getting out of the way of the race leaders, but inevitably bringing out the caution. So I don't know, Connor, if he'll get the lucky dog for that. Because he was the cause of the caution there, so I don't know if he'll be able to use that waiver run that we talked about, but regardless, that's going to restack the field, so it should give him an opportunity, given that nobody else goes a lap down, to give him that lucky dog when we do see another caution. But Voss, after 30 laps, he's still your race leader. Connor, what have you taken away so far these first 30 laps?
I mean, not much. I mean, these guys are just. I mean, they've set their cruise control. Sorry, so far tonight, and I don't think we're going to see much racing until about halfway in. I mean, we're about a third of the way in, Winston, and I feel like we've only been here for 10 minutes. I mean, this track's pretty fast for what these cars are capable of, and I'm curious to see how this race plays out.
Yeah, me as well. And you know, something that could be, you know, maybe interfering with the lack of racing that we've seen so far is these cars are so close on time. I mean, you look at the best times throughout the field, and it's really one number, and it's a 15.2. Everybody in the top 10 is in a 15.2 as their best lap. So everybody really competitive as far as times go. We should be getting the 2 to go signal this time around. The current top 5 is Brian Voss, Chris Smith, Justin Coleman, Brandon Elvis, and Dalton Creech in the 36.
As we look to go 1 green here. House, South Boston. Winston, this track's really good for racing, as we talked about, and I'm curious to see if these guys are gonna, you know, pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe start racing a little harder than what they are, but only time will tell.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty good battles, Connor, through the top 10 so far, but not too much racing for that top spot. Everybody up here wanting to play it conservative and, you know, kind of understands that race at the end. But the lights are off on the Bad Company Racing pace car. They'll make their way through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone. The lights are off. We're ready to go. Back racing down into turns 1 and 2 at South Boston. Voss going to lead the way, and the crash behind Rob Hatback in the 99 got turned around. You saw it there on the right side of your screen. Going to try and maybe get a better look at that and see. Not really sure what happened there. Obviously got hooked maybe by your points leader Brian Zimmerman in the 28. But we'll take a look and see what could have caused it. This is heading down the back straightaway. So you see the field going through turns 3 and 4 right here, picking up the pace. Going back green, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like just maybe somebody either missed a shift or somebody just timed the restart better than somebody else. But contact with the 29 of Zach Murphy, and then you saw the 99 get hooked by Brian Zimmerman. Not really the 28 machine's fault, just, you know, hard racing there in the restart. Everybody's so close trying to get as much as they can, and, you know, sometimes that happens, Connor.
I mean, I've seen it time and time again, you know, racing myself, and it's definitely not the best place to be, is you know, trying to find spots on a restart, you know, maybe pick up a spot or two, and after having to check up on the bottom, and having that be your lane is definitely not the play you wanted. But Brian Voss.
Yes. Currently, Brian Zimmerman, your points leader, down pit road, got right side tires on the 28 machine, 37 laps in. Might be a little bit early to take those right side tires, but, you know, Zimmerman might just he might be trying to undercut this pit strategy, get that fuel early in case we see another long run. Also, looks like he's getting some of that left side damage repaired. You see the left front fender right there, a little bit caved in, so might be trying to get everything fixed up so he can be ready for the remainder of this 100-lap event. Right, so far, Connor, it's been Brian Voss in the 55.
Yeah, nothing but dominations we've seen him do time and time again, but he's not getting away, Winston. Not at all. I mean, we've seen Brian Chris Smith battle for that top position for qualifying, and that they were only 500 thousandths of a second off pace from each other, but
yeah, the lights are off currently. Yep, lights off. Field is doubled up. Make their way through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone, and once again, we're going to be back racing at South Boston. Good start this time. Looks like everybody able to make it through, at least for now. Down the back straightaway, Brian Voss gonna be a race leader for now. It happens in turns 1 and 2 right there on the exit. I believe that was Brandon Mettler in the 15 machine bouncing around there at the end. We'll take another look at what happened, try and see if we can get a better view down into turns 1 and 2. Oh, looks like the 67 of Johnny Batiste gets hooked. And, oh, right there, Brandon Mettler just about went up and over, but just got up on his side, and he's able to get it back down on all four wheels and continue on. But some pretty big front end damage there, Connor, for this early in the race.
Yeah, it's really 41 laps in, about half in, half to go, and I'm not. If I'm Brian Voss, I'm loving this. You know, not many laps on the tires, getting to save fuel, maybe not even having to pit when only guys he really has to worry about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, Connor, with the field size that we have right here, 21 cars in tonight's race, Voss in the 55 can probably afford to not pit if he's able to make it on fuel. But a couple of cars start to make that call. Kyle Wellman, Alex Harris, Tanner Marr coming down pit road. So we'll see what the 4 car gets. He's going to get right side tires. I doubt we'll see him put left sides on, just with how long pit stops take. And yeah, you see the 4 car, 2 tires. Tanner Marr, 2 tires. Kyle Wellman as well. So 3 cars coming down to take a couple tires under this caution flag. But Connor, I don't know if the 55 were to stay out, I don't know if these guys are going to be able to get back through the field with this many laps under caution.
I mean, if we keep getting cautions, I don't think that they'll have time to get back up there. But if we do get another long green flag run, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the top 5. You know, Brian Voss, he's done well when it comes to keeping, you know, the tires under his 55 machine. And Brendan Elvis, we saw him have complete domination at Slinger too. But I think it's really all going to depend on how many green flag laps we get.
Yeah, Brian Voss definitely going to be hungry for that first victory this season. He had 3 last season. Going to try and replicate that this season. The lights are off once again. Levan Company Racing pace car as they head through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone. And we are back racing down into turns 1 and 2. Voss going to get another good jump. But here comes Brandon Elvis to the inside in the 54. He's going to have an opportunity to get up to the back bumper on the 80 machine. Right now he's fighting with his teammate Justin Coleman. He's headed through turns 3 and 4. Brian Voss.
Yeah, personally, it's not going to let him get away easy if he's on the back bumper of that 55 machine. But for that 3rd position of that 54 machine, Brandon Elvis and Justin Coleman will battle for that podium position, and neither one of them are giving it up.
Yeah, everybody's racing really hard inside the top 10. I think everybody kind of maybe understood, all right, well, we're having these cautions. Maybe we got to race a little bit harder up front, because if we have these restarts, it's not going to be as easy to get spots late in the race. So Coleman right now working the outside of the Smith in the 80 machine, going to try and roll the outside. Looks like he's got a good run going, contacting the wall. They nearly came together. Hard racing here as we approach the halfway mark. Next time around, we'll see the cross flags.
Yeah, it's halfway leader will be Brian Voss in that 55 machine, but Justin Coleman just absolutely tugging on the outside in that 14 machine as he tries to look for that first position.
Yeah, great move there by Coleman to get up to the outside. His teammate right behind, Brandon Elvis, kind of thought the same thing, looked to the outside there, but just didn't quite have the run built up. So 14, definitely a pretty impressive pass with what we've seen so far. He was able to ride up there and keep it around the outside and drive around him. So a good spot for Coleman to pick up here early on, but still over 40 laps racing. It'll be 47 at the line this time.
Yeah, once we start to see this race start to file, I'd like to point out the fact that our last green flag run on this, the guys up front were running like 15.6s, 15.7s, and now they've picked up the pace to about 15.4s. These guys are just, you know, pushing these cars a little harder, which I definitely didn't expect. I don't know if you did, Winston.
Johnny Batiste in the 67 machine spun around on the exit of turns 1 and 2. It looks like he's going to get down in the pits though. But yeah, the racing definitely picking up here. Everybody's starting to get up across all this battling out back for the 12th spot right now. There's a little bit of contact a couple laps ago with Murphy. Elvis was on Truson Productions. Fellow voice here on Truson Productions, Tanner Mark, with Justin Elvis for that 13th spot. So some hard all over the racetrack.
About, you know, battling for positions. Brendan Elvis looks to be trying to peek his inside. About a lap to go on Chris Smith and then 80 machines. He starts to look again in that 54 car, but what's in the top two are starting to.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. A little bit of a gap being built from your top two competitors. Brandon Elvis looking to the inside of Chris Smith once again. He's fighting the position hard. I think he understands at this point in the race it's time to go.
It is time to go. That is an understatement as these guys are starting to pick up the pace one by one as Chris Smith really fighting really hard on that top side in that 80 machine. But Winston, like you said, he's starting to realize that track's position is really starting to play a factor in how fast these guys are starting to push these cars.
Yeah, we're coming up 39 to go at the line right here. Ooh, Elvis got all kinds of lifts down low. Gonna kill his momentum for now, but still has that bottom lane. Yeah, 38 to go. What will be at the line this time? Dalton Creech starting to approach Brandon Elvis for the fourth spot as well. But like you mentioned, time's just going to run out, and especially if we don't see on the caution flag. I think Elvis kind of understands that he has to get around the 80 machine pretty quickly here, especially as the laps wind down.
Yeah, if he wants to make anything happen, he's really got to get around. You know, vice versa. These guys can't go anywhere. Stop being side by side as Brendan Elvis starts to push him up just a little bit, trying to get that run off. But listen, these guys are battling hard.
Yeah, they're racing really close here down the back straightaway. Looks like Chris Smith going to give up for now, not ready to fight this battle at this point in time. Remember, these guys up front still need to sell the tires in the pits. 2 minutes if they choose to use it. So Brandon Elvis gets up into that third spot. He's got a little bit of ground to make up. And as I say that, we're back under yellow. A couple cars turned around. Larry Bell, Tanner Marr, Caleb Thompson. Some of the ones collected will try and take a... Oh, Ronald Judd coming in there late in the 21. And he's going to send Caleb Thompson for a heck of a ride there. But we'll try and see what happened here. Looks like Thompson and Bell, going into turns 1 and 2. The 43 just gets turned and then nowhere for anybody to go. Alex Harris, Kyle Wellman almost tangle right there. Yeah, Caleb Thompson just comes right back up the track. Not what Ronald Judd was expecting, and a little bit more contact than that original wreck included, but a little bit of added excitement's never too bad, Connor.
No, definitely. Little added excitement is definitely what we like to see in the booth. I mean, we get to have a little fun up here every once in a while. It's just nothing. We're not always just talking. I mean, we do laugh here and there, but Ryan Voss, who was originally my pick for this race, still sits in your first position, Winston. And if you're Brian Voss, do you go down for tires, Winston, or are you liking where you're sitting?
You know, I think honestly at this point, Connor, you're committed. What will be under 30 laps to go when we come back to the green with this size of field and the way that we've seen passing go so far. I mean, if you're Brian Voss, I think you're committed to that top spot without taking tires. But you know, you look throughout the top 10. Look at that 7th place spot, and look who's creeping their way up closer and closer to the front of this field. That's your points leader, Brian Zimmerman, trying to make it 4 for 4 on top 5s.
Yeah, no doubt, Winston is. I would like to point out the fact that Brian Voss and Brian Zimmerman are your 1-2 for points. And Winston, if you're Brian Voss, I mean, even a win would be fantastic, but even just to finish in front of Brian Zimmerman and try and creep your way up to, you know, leading this year's points, anything's going to help.
Yeah, especially in, you know, it's only 21 points, and that's a pretty close points gap here in the All-Star Racing League. So definitely a pretty good battle going here early in the season as the lights go off. But as you said, Brian Voss definitely going to be very, very aggressive here in these last 30 laps to get that first win of the season. But the lights are off. We're making our way through turns 3 and 4. Going to hit the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone, and through the restart zone, we are back racing. Voss going to lead us into turns 1 and 2. Good start there. Oh, Dalton Creech got turned. And everybody's going to pile in. There's going to be a stack up on the exit. Oh, Brian Zimmerman in the 28 got turned down pit road. Not what you wanted to see for your points leader. We were just talking about him, Connor. I think we jinxed him.
I think we did. Let's go commentating curse is what I like to call it. We've seen a lot of commentators. Listen, that is a heartbreak for Brian Zimmerman.
Yeah, we just watched it back here on True Sim Productions, and it looked like Daniel Sweat in the 07 just got in a little bit too hot in turns 1 and 2, and got in the back bumper of the 36, and then he came back down the racetrack and tagged your points leader, the 28 machine, and he had to go down pit road. Not quite sure how many spots he's going to lose. Looks like he scored currently in the 14th spot. Hopefully no penalty came from getting down pit road, but I'm sure the admin would be pretty understanding.
Yeah, as we see Chris Smith and Daniel Sweat, Winston coming down pit road. Winston, Daniel Sweat, or not Daniel Sweat, my apologies. Chris Smith was in your 4th position coming down pit road. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah, you see him getting the right side tires, and you know, I think it's a little bit too late in the race for tires right here. You know, you got a couple guys trapped under or off the lead lap, but even then, it's going to be hard to weed your way through this field. We're coming to 25 to go at the stripe here, and with the way that Brian Voss has been handling this race, he hasn't looked back. I mean, he started on the pole, and that's where he's going to finish if nobody has anything to say about it. But 25 to go right here, Connor. I don't know if you're going to be able to come back from pitting right here.
No, I don't really think you do, which is why I was really, really surprised to see Kerwin Smith come down pit road with having the night he's had tonight after qualifying in that 2nd position and being your fastest in practice. It really blows my mind to see him come down pit road, but as we look, go ahead.
You saw Smith at the end of that run, Connor, kind of falling back. You saw Elvis was able to get around him, and then he was falling back outside of the top 5 towards the end. So it might have been a tire situation where he just felt like he was not going to have enough speed at the end. But regardless, lights are off in the Bad Company Racing pace car. We're heading through turns 3 and 4. Brian Voss trying to pick up his first victory this season, and he's got 2 ECR teammates behind him. So through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone, we are back racing into turns 1 and 2. Voss got a good jump that time. He's going to be clear, and it's going to be Brandon Elvis and Justin Coleman battling down the back straightaway. They're going to see 22 laps to go as we battle for this 2nd place spot.
Yeah, as the 2 teammates will start to battle it out for that 2nd position. And we saw Brian Voss get shot out of cannon on that restart, and Zach Murphy looks to try and peek his way in. No, wait, is that? My apologies.
No, it's Zach Murphy.
My apologies. As the 2 teammates will start to figure it out, as Justin Coleman will get clear of Brandon Elvis.
Yeah, Coleman able to once again use that top side and does a really good job of it as we got a wreck out back down the back straightaway. Matt Cox doing a little bit of a handstand down the back stretch. We'll take a look at what happened as we are still green, but still curious to see what happened as they were down the back stretch. Looks like Bauer in the 9. You see him spinning in front. Oh, he comes back down in front of the barriers and just nowhere for them to go. So Matt Cox going to be scoring the 15th place spot. We jump back behind him. 19 to go. The race leader, Brian Voss, coming to 18 and into 1. Got a pretty comfortable advantage over the 14 of Justin Coleman.
Yeah, Winston, as you looked back on that last incident with, my apologies, I forgot who it was, but Justin Coleman actually almost peeked on the outside of Brian Voss, but Brian Bosch has got that better run on the inside, which we haven't really seen much today. But we're 84 laps in. I think these boys are starting to heat up a little bit. But Brian Bosch is just loving the battling.
Yeah, battle for the second spot right now. Elvis was able to get around his teammate on the bottom side. Oh, contact. The 14 tried to keep the throttle in it off the corner and just had to check up or hit the wall, and I think he got the wall pretty good right there out of 2. So he's going to have to battle with Zach Murphy for the 3rd spot. But move Brandon Elvis 1 spot closer to the front, trying to do what he did last week. He's got 14 laps to go at the line. Connor, what can he do?
Not much, really. I think what's really going to save him this race is a caution. I mean, and we've seen a lot of them so far this race, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one here as we start to dial in and file in, as I say. And Ronald Judge seems to learn his lesson the first time when it comes to live traffic and not completely stop. But Ryan Voss is loving what is behind him.
Yeah, we were 3 wide there for a moment. Dale Logburn, Dalton Creech have been going back and forth for this 9th place spot. Battling really hard there as Justin Elvis in the 44 was way up the racetrack. Him and Tanner Marr are also having a really good battle for that 7th place spot. Great battling going on all over the racetrack as Daniel Sweat tries to peek his nose in as well. This group of cars here, Connor, battling all for around that 8th place spot. It's just crazy watching all these guys going in and out. As Elvis tagged the wall there, we're trying nearly 4 wide here. Crazy racing here with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, as we saw 3 of those cars back in that 10th position hit the wall almost simultaneously. As Wednesday, if we're going to get a caution, it's going to be from these guys. And holy cow, there's so much stuff going on back here. I think there's a mix of guys who got tires and guys who didn't get tires. And wow, insane battling we got coming down. With 8 laps to go.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
Justin Elvis gets tagged. You saw it right there. The 44 got tagged. Man, it was going so good right there, but now the field's going to be re-racked and restacked. Man, that was great battling there, Connor, but as you mentioned, they were just getting more and more dicey, and I think people's right rear tires might have just had enough right there, but we'll take one more look at it. You see the 07 was really close on the back bumper of Elvis. I think just a little bit of a misjudge right there, or I think Daniel Sweat just misjudged it a little bit. And, you know, obviously around went the 44, some pretty big front end and left side damage. I believe he parked it for the night. So a tough race to a good run for the 44 machine. Connor, coming into tonight, Justin Elvis was sitting in that 7th place spot in points. Not going to be the night that he wanted.
No, as he actually bumped up 3 positions after last week, and, you know, it was all sunshine and rainbows for Brian Voss Winston. I mean, he was way out there on that last run, and it all crumbled as soon as Santa came and the winter hit, you know, and it's just not what he was wanting.
Yeah, it was a pretty big gap he had, but I was taking a look at those lap times, and, you know, something that might not be very good for the 55 is I was looking at those lap times, and it looked like the 54 was a little bit quicker. And a little bit quicker each lap. He wasn't gaining too much time, but definitely quicker. So it'll be a close one here. We're going to be sending him green with inside of 5 to go, as the flagman has the high 5 in the air. 5 laps to go. Lights still on. I think 2 to go right there. So we'll be sending him back green with 3 laps to go. Connor, what's Brian Voss going to have to do to maintain this one? He's going to have to do a short, 3-lap run. And then it's going to be the checkered. What can he do to keep these guys behind him?
I think it's all going to take a good restart, Winston, and he showed nothing but that today. I mean, he's been a rocket when it comes to these restarts, and I think he's going to show it right here as the my apologies, it's Bad Company Racing pace truck this week will turn his lights off and they will go green.
Yeah, the lights are off, and as you mentioned, those restarts, it's really easy to be the leader on the restarts here at South Boston. That car on the outside, sometimes it's just so hard to get rolling with the same momentum as they do, and especially to beat them to the corner. It's going to be really tough for Brandon Elvis to be alongside him going into turns 1 and 2, but we'll see what they can do. Heading through the restart zone, we are back racing, and like I said, Ross Sorry, Voss with another great restart, but here comes Elvis trying to do the crossover. Look down low there for a moment. They're going to battle into turns 3 and 4. They'll see 2 to go at the line. Coleman and Murphy battling for the second spot as well, or sorry, the third spot as well. But 2 to go at the line, Connor.
Great battling going on with these guys up front. Winston and Brian Voss still looking to get his first win of this season. As you mentioned before, he had 3 last season. We'll see the doctor's coat in the air, white flag, 1 to go.
Yeah, Voss down into turns 1 and 2. He's got a good lead down the back straightaway. What can Elvis do? They die behind them. The biggest wreck we've ever seen at South Boston, but up, out, and out at turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Brian Voss, and at the end, Zach Murphy for third. But man, did they wreck behind him. We're going to have to go back and look at that, Connor. As I looked back behind and I saw a couple tires spinning. I saw some smoke, and then we changed the camera there, and they were just all piled up in turns 1 and 2. So we're going to take another look. But Brian Voss, man, once again, just a great race he put together there. We've capped it off with the victory, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing but domination as we've seen from him before. But man, what a wreck out behind him. There was 6, 7, 8 cars involved in that junkyard. But, I mean, going back to Brian Voss, great win for him and all of his guys back at the shop.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it from up top in the chopper. As Zimmerman gets tagged, Chris Smith was in there as well. I believe what started it was Kyle Wellman in the 42 machine. We'll try and get one more look at it here from our backstretch camera. Is right here you see Wellman and Tanner Marr in the 4. They tangle, and they were both around, and everybody had nowhere to go. They all just piled in. As the race leader came out of 4 to win the race, but we're going to take a quick step away here on True Sim Productions as we wrap things up here. I'm your host, Winston Neal from the WD Broadcasting Network. We're going to grab a word from our top 3 in just a moment, but we will return here shortly. Alrighty, folks, we're back here on True Sim Productions, ready to wrap things up at the South Boston Speedway. Gonna grab a word from our top 3 competitors here tonight, starting with the 29 machine of Zach Murphy. See if we can get him up in here for a word. As there is the 29. Zach, you got a copy.
I got you.
All right, well, had a great run here tonight. You had a good battle there with Justin Coleman to sneak into the top 3 at the end, but started in the 11th spot here tonight. You were able to work your way up through through the field up to the 3rd spot. Tell me how you did it.
Yeah, it was a long race, 100 laps. So in the beginning, I was just trying to be patient, and it was kind of hard to pass, really. So just trying to save my tires, rode around there in the 10th, 11th, and had those couple cautions. And the second one came out. I saw somebody, I think Zimmy pitted on the first one, and then I was in the room with Caleb, and we're like, hey, we're gonna go down on the next one. So pitted there, got some right side tires, which definitely helped out. But the tires seemed to even out towards the end, and then yeah, a couple more restarts at the end. Luckily, got on the outside of Coleman there at the end and was able to hold him off and race clean with him, which is always fun, and bring it home 3rd.
Yeah, like you said, always fun to race with Coleman. That was a pretty good race. You guys were battling pretty hard there at the end. 3rd place here tonight moves you up to the 5th place spot in the standings. Got to feel good being in the top 5 at this point in the season. I know you got a lot of guys helping you do it. Name them.
Yeah, that's nice to hear him in the top 5. It's been had a kind of a rough start, it seems. I feel like I haven't ran as well as I think I can, but yeah, nice to get on the podium finally. I'd like to thank Caleb Thompson, always racing him every week. He's always helping out. Thank the guys over at All Star, Brandon and Dalton, for putting this on. It's a great league to come racing. Thank you guys over at DSP, Winston. It's a great broadcast, and Connor. And also want to thank Coleman Designs. He did the throwback scheme for my second cousin Pete Silver. It was an old Bush North scheme, and finally got up on the podium, get a little airtime on it. So shout out to Justin on that. Great scheme.
Alrighty, well, sounds like you got a good group of guys piloting your number 29 machine. You drove it into the 3rd place spot here tonight. Congratulations, and we wish you luck next week at Martinsville.
All right, thanks, gang. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yep. Alrighty, folks, that was Zach Murphy, driver of the number 29 machine, your 3rd place finisher. Now I'm going to grab a word from our 2nd place finisher, Brandon Elvis. See if we can get him up here. Brandon, you got a copy.
Hey, buddy.
Well, 2nd place here tonight. You had a good run. Battled with your teammate there for a while. Battled with Chris Smith for quite a while under that second to last green flag run, but just a little bit short here tonight. Probably ran out of green flag laps there at the end with the cautions, but still not a bad run after your win last week.
Yeah, I got nothing to hang my head about. I think we had a good run tonight. Just track position was pretty key. Wasn't able to use the whole racetrack. It's real easy to get yourself burned up on the inside here underneath somebody, because you got to use the whole racetrack to get off the corner, and just not being able to do that. Kind of got the right front too hot. Tire wear was probably a little more than I needed it to be there at the end. The cautions definitely helped, but I could hang with Brian there pretty well. Or I don't think I could have. If I could have passed him, it would have had to been on the restart, and I had to get on the outside of him. That'd have been the only way I could have got it done.
Yeah, and like I said up here in the booth, restarts here at South Boston are just about the worst thing. Just about the worst thing if you're the guy on the outside. It's so hard to guess when they're going, and it's so hard to get a good start and even have a chance down into one. But still,
Yeah.
like you said, great run. But anybody you have to thank.
Brian does a good job.
first.
Brian does a good job of keeping it mixed up right there on the restarts too. So that made it harder.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent there on the restarts. It takes a lot to be consistent and have a consistent start without people being able to time it. And like you said, he changed it up quite a bit there. But yeah, 2nd place here tonight. Anybody that you have to thank?
Yes, sir. Barry Elvis Performance and Fab, of course. My wife, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Mr. Chrisley. Coleman Design, keeping my cars looking pretty good all the time, man. I can't complain. Let's see who else we got on here. Shockout Racing Performance, got to thank them. Also thank them for building the setups for this league. We really appreciate it. BH Homes Construction, Gibbs Brothers Construction, Parker Brothers Windows Tinting. I think I said Coleman Design already, but I'll say it again. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for broadcasting for us.
Yep, good group of guys helping you out. 2nd place spot. That moves you up into, let me fact check myself. That moves you up 8 positions. Oh, no, not 8 positions. That moves you up 6 positions, sorry. I was looking at the wrong standings. I had the last week's opened up for some reason, but
We're
good
up
run
6.
for you here tonight. Up 6 positions into the 6th spot. Looks like you're recovering nicely from that rough start that you called.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Martinsville next week, a flat track. It's going to be hard to pass. Tell me what your thoughts going into it are.
My thoughts are get ahead of Brian Voss and try to stay there. He's really, really good at Martinsville, and it's going to be a track position game. Clean air on the nose is really, really important there. So getting out front and staying out there—that's the plan.
Alrighty, well, we wish you luck there next week, but regardless, congratulations on your 2nd place finish here tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks, that was Brandon Elvis, driver of the number 54 machine. And Connor, I'll let you interview the winner this week. Brian Voss going to be coming up into the booth.
Brian, you got a copy, buddy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Starting to get used to you being up here in the booth with us, and I think it's definitely a good feeling for you as you get your first win of the season, jumping up to that first spot in points. Tell me how you did it.
Well, luckily we had, we spoke about it at the beginning of the broadcast there after qualifying. We had the track position setting down a good lap, and was able just to maintain. I really got to thank them guys for racing me clean. Chris could have easily gotten to me anytime, Coleman, and then Brandon there at the end. Just them guys racing me clean, being able to use the track how I needed to, save the tires, and be there at the end is what it was all about.
Heck yeah, as I already mentioned before, you're now the season's points leader by 5 points, and now next week going to Martinsville, and as we got a word from Brandon Elvis, he said that you're very, really good there. And is that a track you're really looking forward to, thinking you can dominate?
Yeah, for sure. This one was kind of hit or miss, but Martinsville is definitely one. We circle on the schedule and look forward to it. They're in Myrtle Beach, and I think they're the next 2. I was just looking at it. So I'm pretty optimistic going in, but of course, how these races go. Anything can happen at any time.
Yeah, Brian Voss. Sorry, there's so many Brians. Anybody you would like to thank for the win tonight?
Yeah, we got to thank the sponsors we got here. Rain, Total Body Fuel. Of course, we're fueled by Miller Lite. Got to thank them. Blue Iron Coastal Region. And then I got my boys watching, Jay Bird, Teddy Bear, and you guys know I'm going to say it. I found a new way to say it. Dinero de cerveza para la tripulación. Beer money for the crew. We got some extra ones tonight.
Oh my gosh, you got it in both languages. Well, congratulations from me as well, Brian. Great race to you. We mentioned Martinsville next week. You won there last season. And, obviously I called that race. I watched you. You were out front most of the race, and Brandon said his plan was to get in front of you and stay there. So it's going to be exciting next week, and we definitely wish you luck there. But congratulations on your win tonight.
I appreciate you guys, and thank you for everything you do, and also thank this All-Star Racing League and Crooked Line for merging up. It's been a fun season with the car count. Looking forward to keep it going each week.
Yeah, 100%. But thank you for talking to us, and congratulations again.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, folks, that was your race winner, Brian Voss. Like he mentioned, All-Star Racing League and Crooked Line Racing kind of did a little merge before this season, and the car counts are up. The racing's great. And the cautions have been pretty limited too, as we've just seen so much great racing, and nothing short of it here tonight, Connor.
Nothing but domination for Brian Voss, and nothing but great racing, Winston, as you talked about, for True Sim Production viewers out on YouTube. And I mean, it was just a great race tonight. Great to commentate up here with Winston Deal and all the guys here at Crooked Line Racing, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Yeah, definitely always a fun time here on True Sim Productions. Great race here tonight. Like I said, just so much good racing. We saw a couple pretty big incidents as well there too, so always fun to look back at those. But always fun having you in the booth with me as well, Connor. So thank you for that. But before we wrap things up, we got Martinsville next week, Myrtle Beach after that, and then the Bull Ring for the All-Star race. That's going to be a heck of a race as well. So I'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors as well. Mary Elvis Performance and Fabrication, Chestnut Hill for helping put on the broadcast. You've heard Coleman Designs thrown in there too. He's a big help to the league. True Sim Productions for helping or allowing me to come on here and talk every night. So it's a lot of fun. Enjoy doing it. But regardless, thank you guys for all tuning in to tonight's race. Hope everybody enjoyed. It was definitely a fun race, and look forward to next week at Martinsville. We'll see you guys there.